everyone, this is Ruth, Theresa with One Inspiring Woman, and today we're going for a ride and a chat. So I was just having lunch with a friend, and I know he'll be laughing because he'll be like, oh, I knew it was going to go into a video. So what we were talking about is him setting up his own meditation space. So I kind of felt that I really required sharing this with some other people that may be setting up your own meditation space or really thinking about it. So there's a couple of things we're going to talk about. So the first one is thinking really, really deeply about what position you like to be in when you meditate. So do you like to sit down? Do you like to lay back? Do you like to stand up? I mean, there are people that like to do it. Having that space, thinking about it in that space of, do you like to lounge? Do you like to lay down? Do you like to sit down? I often tell people one of the things that's really important, kind of like sub A, is making sure that your neck is completely supported. So if you're in a chair sitting up, you're not going to end up doing the hungry chicken and throwing your neck around. Making sure that there's a pillow or something to support your neck as you do your meditation. And that could be in any type of chair. You could just get a neck pillow or whatever it is. The other thing is kind of keeping that in mind of like, where am I going to feel more comfortable, and finding the correct chair or modifying chair. Sometimes I meditate and I have like a pillow that for my low back that I really, really love. So that's kind of the interesting part, is like finding the accessories to what you require. Now, kind of the third thing to think about is a blanket of some type. Now, some people really, really, really love to meditate with a blanket, and it usually doesn't have to be a heavyweight blanket. Sometimes it could be a very lightweight blanket, and sometimes it just kind of keep the air off of you. That's kind of my thing, is I don't really like air on me. I don't mind being cool, I just don't want the air directed on me. And a lot of times when I meditate for a long period of time, and then when I come back, I can be a little agitated because like my hands or my feet or my shoulders are really cold, because I've been in meditation so long with that air directly hitting me over and over again. So a thin, lightweight blanket that's comfortable for you is really good. Now let's go into number 5, setting the space. And I would set apart getting a carpet that is going to set it apart from everything else. So getting something that's very comfortable for your feet. It doesn't matter what color or size, whatever size you can fit in your space, but having a nice carpet so that when you enter that space, it's kind of like, now I'm entering my meditation space. Making sure that you necessarily, if you like to meditate barefooted, you don't put your shoes in that area. So it's really kind of bringing that mindset of, now I'm going to be into my meditation zone. Then think about, how are you going to be doing your meditations? Is it something that you do on your own? I usually call out my own meditations for myself, and so sometimes I just add music to it. But how am I adding music? Maybe it's on my phone, maybe it's through a YouTube video, or sometimes it's music that I've made myself and I'm just replaying it. How are you going to put music into that room? Maybe it's headphones or ears or noise canceling stuff or whatever it is. Excuse me. So that's really important to kind of think about too, is kind of like, how are you going to do it? If you're going to have speakers, I would do like 2 small speakers on different sides, so you're hearing them in different parts. And it just really depends on the energy of the space. Like, are you going to be meditating when you're home alone, so you could play your music out, or is it you're doing it and there are other people in the space and they may not choose to hear your music? So that just adds to that energy of it. So this is just kind of some things to keep in mind. Next is, once you've kind of got that settled, setting the right energy for your room. And so the energy can come in many different ways. Sorry. So what is your light source in the room? How are you going to light the space? And that can kind of start setting that energy mode for what's coming in. I think this is number 6. So setting the energy mode of like what's in the space. That could be using colored bulbs in the ceiling fan or in your light fixtures that you have, or a lamp, that sort of thing, can kind of really set that tone for you of what you're bringing into that space. Now, Along with that, if you're going to be like facing a window or something like that, you may choose to use like a sheer curtain or something like that. And it really depends on when you meditate. If you meditate a lot during the day, the sun could be coming straight in, and that can really distract you. So maybe something light and sheer. If it's you meditate and the light really bothers you, then maybe that's something that you really need to think about. Like, I need some light diffusing or stronger kind of light canceling kind of in that area. Next is kind of number 7 is setting your space. One of them is, for number 7, is really like salt lamps. You should have salt lamps, maybe 1, 2, 3, or 4, whatever it is. And I often tell people with salt lamps, go big or go home. So that is really, really, really important. So many times people have come to me and like, I cleanse my whole house with this $5 or this 5-pound salt lamp. No. That's clearing a little bit of a space, but it's one of those, even if you're taking just a corner of the space, you want to clear all of that room in there. So I often tell people, if you think you need a 10-pound, do a 20-pound. If you think you're doing 20, do 40. Find a little bit bigger one, and the colors can be very personal to you. I like ones with deeper, darker colors than lighter colors, because I'm very affected by colors. If you are autistic or on the scale in any way, shape, or form, usually the darker colors are better. Here's my exception to the rule. If you're using a white salt lamp, then you can change the salt lamp energy by changing the color of the bulb. So a lot of people that have autism or get amped up really easy, they do best when they're meditating with a blue or a green light. So doing that in a white salt lamp can really enhance that energy. And then the same thing, make sure you go a little bit bigger than going smaller. Then you want to set your space. And what I would say is kind of putting a bookcase or putting some items on there that you would want to read during your meditation time, or things that would enhance. Maybe you would have a space for your angel cards. Maybe you would have a space for several of your favorite books that you would want to keep in that space. That would be really good. And then also setting your crystals. What are the crystals that you would choose to set in that space? And how you space them out is going to be very specific to you. How are you going to set this space up? That would be kind of number 8, is kind of setting that space, that energy. You could do like 9, like you could do something in the air. You could do wind chimes, or you could do hanging plants in or around your space. Could also be very, very good in enhancing that good energy. Anything that has more round leaves. I know ivies. A lot of people have ivies in their house, and I have a whole bunch of ivy. And they don't necessarily have a roundish leaf. They have a rounder leaf with a point to it. But I always think of it as a heart, so that kind of makes it a really good energy. But you could put some energy in there with some different leaves or different colored leaves. Make sure that your plants do not die in that area or that space, because that's really the energy that you want to amp up your energy in. And if something's dying, then it's taking energy away. It's not adding energy to the space. So that's something to kind of keep in mind if you want to put some plants in that area. And you could also do like an aloe vera, even though it's a pointy leaf with spikes on it. What could be really good is that it has that intention of clearing and cleansing and healing energy properties to it. So that could be a really good one as well. But I really like the round leaves more than anything else. One of the things is that you want the energy in the room to be circulating around. So having a fan or a ceiling fan in there to kind of help, that's number 9, is kind of amping up that energy of how to put this space in there and how is this going to work better for you. Something that's going to be moving that energy around. Make sure that when you walk into your space, you can feel an energy shift. And if you've been to my house and walked into my office, almost every person that walks in there will be like, oh my gosh, this place has the best energy ever. I have literally had clients ask me if they could move into my office because the energy is so good there. And so a lot of that is derived by my salt lamps and the energy that I set. But you also want to cleanse. So this is number 10, is cleansing the energy, the space, as best you possibly can. and that will really help with clearing the energy. And you want to cleanse your particular meditation space several times in a year. It depends on how often you use it. If you're using it more often, like once a day or several times a week, I would say you need to at least cleanse it once a month. If you're meditate, like I meditate several times a day, so I literally cleanse my space once a week. So I'm doing it way more often. Even my office space is cleansed once a week. So I'm really clearing out that negative energy that I've let go of and my clients have let go of, and really cleanse that out. So these are the top 10 ways to kind of set your meditation space up for you. Hopefully you got some good suggestions. I would love to get your input or any pictures that you would like to share with me of your meditation space. Maybe we could be chatting about it. I thank you so much for joining me today, and I know that we'll be talking again soon.